They say podcasts are going to replace books. I don't know about that, but I do think TRS Clips will assist your learning process. Let's talk about the final events of World War II, beginning with what we spoke about Hitler. There are conspiracy theories according to which he actually escaped to South America. I think it was Argentina, if I'm not mistaken, because later on they found a lot of Nazis operating out of Argentina. I think even Mengele was found in Argentina. But I'm sure Mengele couldn't have been alone. If Mengele was able to escape to Argentina, I am dead sure someone with the power that Hitler held had to have escaped there.
Yes, lots of Nazis were able to escape to South America, especially Argentina. One of the most famous cases was Adolf Eichmann, who was eventually in the 1960s captured by a Mossad team in Argentina and transported all the way back to Israel.
We've not even touched upon Israel in this entire conversation.
Yes.
But anyway, go on, sir.
Yeah, if you want to talk about Israel, that goes back to World War I, the Balfour Declaration in 1917 or so. That's a whole different tangent.
I think Israel is a whole other podcast, including what they're doing geopolitically now, etc. But I think in this one, we'll just stick to World War II. Keeping that conspiracy theory in mind, what do you believe? Again, keeping all your data points in mind.
I believe there is a significant paucity of information about Hitler. Whatever we have been told is very fragmentary, it's not convincing. It's not enough to prove that he died. Where's the evidence? We don't have a single image, a photograph of the dead body in case he had died, right? I mean, that's the first evidence we look for. There are so many Nazi criminals who died, who were hanged, who shot themselves. We have the photographic evidence of all these things, but there's no evidence of Hitler ever found. They say the Soviets took his body and they burned it or whatever. Well, the Soviets would have wanted to photograph that thing, that we were the ones who were able to acquire his body, right? We are the ones who induced his suicide. It would be the greatest triumph for Stalin to show that, but it never happened. Why did it did not happen? So there is clearly an element that would tell you that maybe something else happened. And we know that after the war, lots of Nazis, officers and soldiers and all, they escaped via various routes to Argentina, to South America, and they lived there for decades. Many of them lived peacefully and died out over there. So it is possible, it's conceivable that even Hitler may have been part of that exodus to South America. It's possible.
What was the Mossad angle? It's like very Gangs of Wasseypur, taking revenge way after the events.
The Mossad, one of their objectives was to smoke out all the Nazis who had escaped and who were living peaceful lives and who had not paid for the crimes they had committed during World War II, especially against the Jewish people. So the Mossad had these spies all across Europe, and they eventually got wind of the fact that there were many Nazis living in Argentina. They were even able to locate Mengele. But they had a choice, Eichmann or Mengele. That's what I believe the choice was. And they went for Eichmann.
Who gave them the choice?
I think there was the question of exfiltration. You have to kidnap a person who is now an Argentinian citizen, possibly protected by the Argentinian government.
Possibly protected by the American government.
Possibly protected by somebody else. Yeah, possibly, yeah. So you have to do this under the nose of the Argentinian government. And before they can get wind of what happened, you have to exfiltrate that person in some way out of the country. So you can't do it with lots of people. You capture one person, then the government will become alert that everybody else is under danger. So they had only one shot. So then they decided to take out Eichmann instead of Mengele.
Why Eichmann instead of Mengele? Did he do worse shit than Mengele?
Most likely he did worse shit than Mengele. Possibly. That's a call they took, and they took out Eichmann. The story of how they captured him is incredible. I mean, I think there are books written about that. So that's a very interesting story. So that's what the Israelis did. But we know that the Nazis, lots of Nazis were living in Argentina. I think there are movies made about this. There is even one Marvel movie, I don't know which it was, in which there's a scene of this guy going to Argentina and shooting a couple of Nazis. So yeah, it's been well known that the Nazis went there. Lots of Nazis settled down over there. It's conceivable that even Adolf Hitler, maybe he did not die. Maybe he also went there, shaved off his mustache, changed his hairstyle, something. Who knows? It's possible.
Thank you for watching this clip. If you want to learn more about this topic, we've curated a playlist just for you, and here's a link to the whole episode.